Welcome back, everybody, to the Nostalgia Podcast, where we take you back in time so you remember those. I don't even know what they're called anymore. I'm doing horrible at this today. I'm just recovering from being sick, so my brain is a little bit scrambled right now. We actually have a tagline that I've been using in all the videos, and now it's just not going to be there because I'm too sick to deal with it. But welcome back, everyone. It's our second monthly movie night, so it's really exciting. We get to watch another movie, whether you thought it was awesome or not. We will talk about that. But that movie in question is Forest Gump. The movie came out in 1994. So I was 2 and Becky was 1? 0.
It depends on when in 1994 it came out, yeah.
I don't have a good answer for that.
If it was before November, then I was not a year old yet. Yeah.
It probably came out before November.
Yeah. Pretty fair to say.
I would think. Yeah. Yep. And Nick was 32 when it came out. So
yeah.
Or
8.
8
or 8. 8, 32,
bad.
One of those two, something like that.
Basically, all we care about is that we were all too young to see this movie. And I completely forgot how bad this movie, like the bad stuff that happens in this movie is until watching it. So we'll go over all that stuff. We'll talk about it going forward. But I want to introduce the lovely host that we have here today. We got the one and only Becky. How's it going, Beckles?
Oh, it's going good. As per usual, chugging along.
You have a new background. Can we talk about that quick?
I do, yeah. So I finally invested in probably the cheapest green screen you could probably get. And so now I have a nice background here because the software will nicely form the me out of the green screen. So
nice.
Yeah. So
I like it.
I'm getting studio-esque up in here now. So
now, one question about it, okay? Why did you choose that picture over that nostalgic 90s cup that everyone knows, the blue and purple one?
Oh, that's a good point. I will tell you
maybe
the
next
answer.
time. We'll figure. Yeah, we'll see. I'm just curious. I mean, it looks nostalgic. It looks like a floor of a movie.
You're not
going
to let me answer?
No, absolutely not.
All right, moving on.
Go. You know what, Becky? I'll give you 30 seconds. Go.
Okay. Basically, I just binged. Yeah, binged, not Googled. I know. I binged 90s nostalgic background, and this was one of the first ones that came up, and I was like, it's simplistic enough. I didn't want a whole lot going on back here, and I was like, that's cool. So I picked it.
All right. I guess,
but yeah.
You know what?
Now I have downloader's remorse though, because now I kind of want the cup one.
Now you want the cup one.
There's always next episode.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and that other low end voice you heard chilling in the background is Nick back again for another movie night. How's it going,
That's
Nick?
right. Never pass up a movie night. Peachy Keen, how are you?
You know what? You guys never ask how I'm doing. This is the first time, and now
this
I
is
feel
not the
loved.
first time.
I don't think
there's no way this is the first time.
There's so much love in this room.
I will go back and listen to the episodes for the first time for once, and I will find one.
So Nick's really great to have on here for movie night because he is very adamant about watching every single film known to man. In his past life, he has watched a lot. I feel like every single time I ask you, have you seen this movie? The answer is yes, but check out the other person's work because there's these 4 other movies that are great. It's like, okay, adding it. But I can say that I've been using Letterboxd more and more. I think I'm over 1,000 movies that I've marked as watched.
Good.
Which is kind of cool. Yeah, I was just happy to get past that point. Becky would probably be in the 10 to 15 number.
That's generous. Thank you, John.
Yeah, no problem. I feel like we're doubling every week.
I know. We're doubling the amount of movies that I've watched. I did download Letterboxd, actually, believe it or not.
Nice.
I have not done much with it, to be honest.
It's really cool. I mean, I see movies a lot, and I have the whatever premium pass of the place that's kind of near me, near my work. And I go see movies more often. I just saw No Hard Feelings. That was a really good movie. But when I get out of them, I mark them as watched and I rate them. So I can keep a little bit nicer rating scores of how I like certain things. And it's really cool to keep track of. And I actually want to start one for the podcast so that people can keep track of the movies we've seen and the ratings that we have. And we can do a nice little synopsis of the episode in a review. I think that'd be
That
kind of
sounds
cool.
like a great idea.
Now, let me ask you this, and it's not because I want them to sponsor us, but please sponsor us. No,
Please.
But do they? So like when you rate movies and things like that, will Letterboxd actually like recommend movies that you haven't marked as watched based on ratings that you've given to other movies?
I believe so, but you might need to pay for the premium one to do that.
All right.
But you can see like people put lists and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like movies you should see before you die, like 100 movies you should see.
Oh, okay.
So
Those
you can
kinda
see like if you just marked off a movie and watched it, you could see what list it's in, what people have put it in. So
okay.
you can go to those lists and build from there.
And you
add
can
them to
see
your watch
like
list.
other movies that if somebody marked the movie that you marked as 5 stars as 5 stars, you can see other movies that they like as 5 stars too and stuff like that. Probably.
Yeah, you can go to people's accounts.
That's
You can
neat.
follow people. Well, you did follow me, I think.
I did. Yeah, I did. Follow
It's a really
whatever.
cool app. Anyone out there who hasn't downloaded it probably should. It's a free app and sponsor us. What? I thought I heard something.
Must have been a bird.
Now we got you guys out of the way. Let's go ahead and get into the synopsis of this movie. So all three of us will watch this. Nick, did you watch it today or yesterday?
I watched it yesterday.
You did watch it. Okay. Still new enough. We all watched
That's
it
right.
in the very, very recent time frame.
Yeah.
So we all have it right on our mind, ready to talk about it. I think it's going to be really great. But the synopsis of the movie actually is kind of interesting. And it's kind of a different way to like look at the movie, I guess you'd say. But it is the history of the United States from 1950 to the 70s unfolds from the perspective of an Alabama man with an IQ of 75 who yearns to be reunited with his childhood sweetheart. And it's like, so we'll go ahead and talk about quick, like what we thought overall is the movie, because I kind of want to get that out of the way first. And then we'll kind of dig down because I feel like I have a lot to say about this movie. So we'll start with Nick since we introduced Becky first. Nick, what were your thoughts rewatching this movie?
There are so many things I forgot about this movie.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, there's just so much going on that I forgot about. Movie wise, well produced. Story wise, I think it's some boomer shit.
That's actually a really good description of it. Some boomer shit.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, so I watched this movie years ago and I remember liking it. And when I rewatched it today, I found myself very, I was trying to find a reason to like the movie. That was like my whole purpose of watching it. I really can usually find good parts about any movie, right? Doesn't matter what it is. I mean, last week I watched The Room.
Okay.
So I'm guessing Becky doesn't know what that movie is.
No, I don't.
It's have you ever seen the clip of the person? I did not hit her. I did not. And he throws the water bottle and goes, "Oh, hi, Mark."
No.
I guess not. Okay,
Nope.
sure. Okay, surprise. Well, I watched that, and there were
right.
parts of it that were interesting. But anyway, I just didn't like the movie. One, I feel like if Tom Hanks was not the main person of this movie, it would have been thrown into the gutter and wouldn't have been looked at twice. If anything, it would probably be like a little weird to watch. It just felt very grabby, and
It was a little weird to watch with Tom Hanks.
yeah, exactly. Let's see. You know what about you, Becky? What'd you think?
Yeah, so I actually I liked the movie. Like, it's definitely not a feel good movie.
No.
Like, obviously. And similarly to Nick, I did not remember a very hefty majority of it. I had a very, very vague outline and like movie quotes that I knew, but
Sure, yeah.
it's been a very long time since I watched the movie, and I really didn't remember a lot of it. But I mean, in my opinion, I think it tells a very real story. You know, like, I mean, there was a lot of like, you know, like the boomer shit that Nick is talking about. You know, where you just have people that are like shunning somebody who's, more mentally disabled, and using them to their advantage and things like that. But I think it told a very real and dark story from the perspective of somebody who is almost always happy, almost because they don't know any better. And just things are the way that they are, and it was, I thought the story was told very well, personally, because it's a sad movie, and I don't know, it definitely doesn't make you feel good after watching it, but I think it's a well told story. And so I think it's a pretty good movie because of that.
Honestly, the synopsis saying it's a history of the United States from the 50s all the way up to I think it's in the 80s that
Yeah,
the end
82 is when it
happens.
ends.
Is it? Yeah. Looking at it as a historical piece makes it a little bit more interesting. Boy, was the CGI bad. Every bit.
Oh, man.
That did not age well.
It's 94. No. I understand. A lot of
Yeah.
things that happened in 94 were not good, but boy, you could tell that they just took the picture of the president, mapped out the nice little circle around his mouth, and had someone walk in there and then go, because it didn't even go with what they were saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close.
I noticed a couple times where literally the lips stopped moving, but the voice kept going.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was all right.
It's just so weird. And I don't like using CGI as a criticism for old movies. I don't think it's fair. Different time frame altogether. I mean, look at the difference between that and Avengers Endgame. They're what,
right,
30 years apart from each other. So it makes sense that there's going to be differences. But at the same time, how did that go through screening and stuff? I mean, good enough. Ship it.
It's fine. We don't have time to deliberate on this, so just send it.
Exactly.
Yeah. The people that were renting the VHS were not going to see those details.
Yeah.
And that, I think the lower resolution may have had something to do with it. And we talked about Blockbuster before, and how even DVD quality was just not great back then. But in reality, you're watching on a VHS, it's only 360. I didn't even know what the resolution of VHS was, because it was film. It was kind of different. But yeah, so I don't. Well, whatever. That's that, because even my first note was that, why does the feather look like crap? And and then I thought about it. I was like, oh, it came out in 94. I thought this movie came out in the mid 2000s.
Really?
That, for whatever
just
reason,
because of when you first saw it?
I think so. That was probably when I first saw it. And it's about history, right? So when the movie came out in the 90s, someone who lived 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s is that old enough to be able to be quote unquote nostalgic with the stuff that's going on. I mean, all the things with the presidents, all of the war stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah,
hits pretty hard, close to home for people. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So
I did enjoy the kind of comedic twist to those things, though, where the things the shit happens bumper sticker, just all this stuff that Forrest invented, right? And the Elvis Presley's dance, because he was in his leg contraption.
Braces. Yep.
They dove into that a lot.
And stuff like that. That was kind of funny. How this random guy just touched all these famous, he would be the famous person in all of these things, but instead he just inspired all these famous people.
Speaking of touching a lot of people, the first scene with his mother to get him into school.
Oh my god!
Didn't remember that part.
Nope.
Did not remember that. But so my second note. My second note on this movie is how hilarious it was when the guy's just man, your mom really cares about your education, boy. And he's like, you don't say much, do you? And then he just starts mimicking his grunting. That was that just set a tone for the movie, where it's you kind of think you're going into a comedy at that point. You know?
I feel like that's kind of how it was marketed.
Yeah. And then it gets very real.
Yeah. It bounces between getting real and being funny.
Yeah.
Right.
It makes it's not even jumping over a line. It is just leaps over.
Yeah.
It's ha ha ha, everything is great. Oh, Bub's dead.
Yeah. Just, oh, wow.
And like, so at the beginning, one of the things I wrote is the most notable quote from here is "Run, Forest, Run." Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what you hear all the time, but it was only said like twice or three times in the movie. Like the thing that was said the most is like "Stupid is as stupid does."
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
They repeat that over and over and over again. I was
Yeah.
like, boy, if that was the quote that came out of that, people would have been pissed. I mean, "Run, Forest." That is like iconic. Whenever you see someone running, you yell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It did come up. It's funny because like knowing the like quote unquote meme that it became, the Run Forest Run thing, it is kind of funny how it's funny that you said it only comes up X amount of times, because there's a certain point where I thought that it was overplayed. Like it was a little bit overdone, because like what
Yeah.
are the odds of somebody literally saying "Run, Forest, Run" to completely separate people in completely separate circumstances? They're all saying the same thing. Like I think that's why it felt overdone to me. But yeah, it was only actually said like maybe 3 or 4 times. But
Yeah.
yeah,
How did Forrest outrun 3 kids on a bike?
because he busted out of his leg braces and immediately his spine was straight. He was able to sprint
Just
like
immediate.
the wind, like the breeze. I
That's
forgot what
all.
he
So
said. Like the wind.
they do it
yeah.
again where he's being chased by the car.
Yeah.
And the car's like, and the car gets like really close up, and then they cut to the next shot, and it's like 6-7 feet away.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
I noticed the
Okay,
same thing.
sure.
Yeah, he turned into a field, and then all of a sudden he like had this crazy lead on them, and it was
Yeah. I
like,
loved
oh.
him hurdling the fence too after he got in the field.
Oh yeah, he just clears it,
just
no
like
problem.
6-foot jump,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yep.
Yeah, the movie itself definitely had its issues. Obviously, it's like a critically acclaimed movie. So many people like it. I think it's one of the highest rated movies. I believe, right? I think it basically runs like 90s everywhere on every platform.
Yeah, I mean, I
Which
thought it was a good movie. Honestly, it's like, I mean, it's not a good story. Like, it's not like a feel good story, but yeah, it's like it's a real one that somebody could have gone through. But yeah.
if you watch it for the historical pieces as opposed to a progressive story like most movies are, because most movies you have the intro where you learn about people, the build up to the climax that happens, something happens, someone dies, someone betrays someone, blah blah blah, and then it goes to the conclusion where it all is hunky dory. This really didn't
Right.
have that. It was
Right,
just
no,
like
'cause-
it's like, oh, yep, nope, this is perfectly fine. This is fine. Oh, he's out of his braces, and it's been downhill ever since.
yeah, it's just like that's the thing. It's just a real life story, not like, yeah, it's like, it's not a fantasy. It's actually like a slice of life for what somebody who is mentally disabled could have been back in the 70s or 60s. Actually, it would have been a lot harsher back then. Honestly, it was a very
it was
Yeah.
very tame.
yeah,
for
it was
what
very
probably
tame.
was back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah, and seeing all like the historical stuff in there was really cool.
Yeah.
As someone who didn't live through any of it, right? I mean, because we were born when this movie came out, like I
Right,
barely
yeah.
lived through the ending. But yeah, when was the first time you watched it, Nick?
I was probably 10 or 12. Might have rented it, so late 90s.
Gotcha. Do you
And
do you remember any of it?
the only thing I really remembered was the Bubba talking about all the different ways you could prepare shrimp.
Oh yeah.
That's what I remember. Of course, Run Forest Run, and then we've got the meme of him waving from the boat.
Yeah.
The
that
amount of
is
times I've used that at
lasted
work.
30 years.
Yes.
But other than that, like I've got this list of scenes I forgot, and it is long.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Give me one.
All right, how Forrest got into school. We went over that one.
Yep.
We sure did.
Jenny's father.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
Did not
I know.
remember
Yep.
that.
Did
Like
not.
talk about traumatizing.
Yep.
Like
Oh
there's
god.
just
And honestly, again going into like how I thought that the movie was pretty good, the way that it was narrated from the perspective of Forrest, where he's like, yeah, her dad really loved his girls. He was always touching them and kissing them and showing them affection and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, like
Mhm.
just
as a kid watching it, you probably wouldn't think twice about it. It was just
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yep.
Then you're like, oh,
Parents
that's
love
weird. She's
for
running
their
away.
kids, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
watch it as like a older person, and it's like, oh boy, okay,
Yeah.
yep, that. Yeah, when they go into the cornfield and they start praying to become is it a beetle or
Birds?
Birds.
Was it a bird?
To
fly away.
Jenny wanted
Yep.
to become a bird to fly away.
Yeah.
What little girl prays to be a beetle, John? Who's like, please just let me be like a June beetle, June bug, and just fly away on my weird wings.
Listen,
Yeah, I think Jenny was the most forgotten part for me. So we had meeting Jenny's father, Jenny being in Playboy, Jenny's suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
oh my god, where she almost like slips off of the after.
Right.
Oh my! I couldn't believe that they just like show her doing like some little cocaine there, a little bit of
Yeah.
like,
Little heroin and
yeah. And then she just goes outside and she stands on the ledge, just like, I don't remember this part. Like, what?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, she had talked about it before when he took her out of the strip club.
Mm-hmm.
She was on the overpass,
Right, yeah.
talking about it.
Oh, that's right, where she goes up on
Went
the
a
ledge
little
bit.
further in that later scene with the drugs.
Yeah, I didn't remember like how much of a horrible person Jenny was actually.
Maybe not horrible. She'd been through some shit.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
she has.
but at the end, that was a little rough.
yeah,
Like, can you imagine just, hey, come on back into my life? Just kidding, you have a kid, I'm out.
well, even before that, the prelude to the end there was, oh yeah, I love you too, Forest, and then they they make love finally, and then she just fucking books it. He doesn't hear from her or whatever, and then all of a sudden, he has a kid. She dies. He gets to take care of the kid. Like, I don't know. That was a whirlwind.
It was quick too, actually. I forget how quick those progressions are because it's supposed to be like the resolution of the whole thing.
Right.
Like that's the ending of the movie is all that happening. I'm like watching. I was like, I remember something happening at the end with like his kid. That's all I remembered. And I was watching it. I'm like, we are 15 minutes from the end of this movie.
Yeah.
What is going on here? And you finally get it at the very, very end. And she's just like, peace, I'm out. And
It was an interesting approach, though, in the end from historical events to the AIDS epidemic.
yeah.
And having it be a white woman who was being affected by it
Yeah.
in the early 80s.
Yeah, because that's not what you usually see. Like, I don't know if either of you have seen Tick Tick Boom on Netflix.
Nope.
Highly recommend. It is a musical it's written by Lin-Manuel Miranda with Andrew Garfield in it as the main character, playing Jonathan Larson, who's the writer of Rent.
Okay.
And it's all about because I don't know if Jonathan Larson, the writer of Rent, died before Rent got on Broadway, like just before.
Oh, really?
I think it was a brain aneurysm. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But this is all about his storyline leading up to, like certain events. But it's very good. And it goes all over like the AIDS epidemic and stuff like that. It's a absolutely fantastic watch and has incredible music to it. But it's usually all gay men. That's just, I mean, all you usually hear about. But because of drugs and stuff, it did spread in other places. So, not to get too deep into this. Jeez.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then there was kind of that unresolved where like, so obviously when she said that she's sick, the doctors don't know what it is. And based on her history and everything, everybody, I think, assumes HIV that has evolved into AIDS and that kind of thing. And then there's also the unresolved piece of, did she give it to Forrest when they finally had sex? You know, like he could also have it at that point, but obviously we don't get that far. Right?
Yeah, I don't think I actually thought in my defense, I was a little preoccupied with setting all this up at the very end. So it's not quite, wasn't what I was 100% paying attention to, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you got for some more scenes there, Nick?
Oh, scenes I forgot. Lieutenant Dan's Destiny. I forgot that Lieutenant Dan wanted to die on the battlefield.
Oh, because all of
And-
his former relatives
Right.
died in
Yeah.
every major war. Yeah.
Yep. And
And
then,
he's like, bring me back. Like,
yeah, his struggle with depression and being disabled after the war was not something I carried over from, being 12 years old when I first saw it.
no.
I thought it was very, very cool in the hooker scene where like it's New Year's and he brings the hookers back to the hotel. I thought it was really cool that like Dan got very offended that she asked if Forrest was stupid. Like,
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
feel like
all right.
he got it then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. He did.
Yep. That was the notes I had from that scene weren't that deep. It was, why does one look like they're 18 and one look like they're 81? So
That's pretty accurate though. That's
yeah, it was I'm like looking through my notes. They weren't good notes, and I was literally just writing them quick blurbs to give myself like ideas of what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not that great. There was one scene that I didn't remember originally, was the Soldiers for Peace. What was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was where he
yeah.
gets up on the stage and
And
somebody
they just
cuts
cut
the
it?
mic, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I honestly don't know that part of history. Like, they made a point like to say who that guy was. Like, he wore an American flag and he said
Right.
the F word a bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
I still don't know to this day who that is. And I was gonna
yeah.
look it up if I had more time,
Yeah,
but
same here.
I did not.
Yep.
I had no
Okay.
idea who that dude was.
Okay, super. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
Because they made a very, like, it was
Pull
very
that up.
apparent that you were
So
supposed
if
to
you
that up.
know who that
was.
was, please tell us in the comments.
Yes, let us know. We didn't ask anyone to put anything in the comment section anyway yet, so that works out.
Yeah,
So let us
that's
know.
true. Yeah,
Because
let us know.
I still don't know. I'll look after this, so I mean, I might know, but I thought there were a couple of spots like that
We just
We're
didn't
pretty-
get the historical reference because of
Yeah.
where we are, right?
exactly.
We're seeing it now with
younger.
Fallout Boy coming out with part 2 of
We didn't start the fire.
We Didn't Start the Fire.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about that.
I gotta
Really?
I've heard of it, but I've got to give it a listen still. But yeah,
You do.
I heard it's good.
Doorstay, China Johnny Way, South Pacific, Dr. That's not it.
Yeah, but
Right.
it's like new. It's like new events.
It's from the end of the first one to present.
Interesting. All right.
So
Take a
it's
look
a
at
We Didn't Start the Fire for our generation.
Interesting. People have been trying to do that for 1985. And it just doesn't work because they don't rhyme things correctly.
No, this
They're
one
just
works.
throwing anything in there, like copy paste, and just,
Yeah,
I'd
they didn't
imagine
do it
Fallout
chronologically, but they at least got rhymes down.
Yeah.
Did the original one do it chronologically?
I believe so.
That's impressive.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever paid attention to the. I've heard the song, obviously.
I like
and,
the song, but yeah, I haven't listened to the actual really dive into the lyrics.
I mean, I love Billy Joel. Like,
Mm-hmm.
his music is fantastic. But We Didn't Start the Fire is not one of the ones I'd usually run to if I'm looking to listen to some Joel.
This is probably going to be funny to you guys, but today I learned that song is by Billy Joel.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wait, really?
Yeah, no, I knew the song. I didn't know who did it. Yeah,
Yeah, surprise. Yeah, I mean,
That's
it's
funny.
very apparent when you listen to it that it is Billy Joel.
it might not be apparent to me. I'm not sure 100% what Billy Joel sounds like, but well, now I know he sounds like that, so now it's going to be
Exactly,
apparent. Yeah.
He also did Piano Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Only the Good Die Young. Is that him? That's not the word. That's not the actual song, is it? No, it
I
is.
know
Only
what
the
song
Good
you're
Die
talking
Young.
about, though.
Yeah, because I almost got
Mm-hmm.
one of the words from there tattooed. I'd rather laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints.
Wow.
Yeah, good
Nice
song.
little tramp stamp.
Yeah, and then I was like, that is basic as
Edgy.
like,
Edgy.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, geez, what, John? Did you watch Invader Zim when you were younger?
Oh, jeez. All right. Should I go? Nick, do you want to have some alone time?
Yeah, just put up the technical difficulty screen for a little while.
I come back with like a black eye. I'm like bleeding out of my mouth. All right, guys, let's continue.
Oh man.
If anyone who's wondering, our 2 episodes ago was all about Nickelodeon cartoons, and Becky said he hated Invader Zim.
Yeah, ragged on it pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't just say
Yeah,
I
he
hated
did.
it. I also, I personally insulted a lot of people.
You
I think.
did.
Mhm.
Like a large
Yeah,
demographic.
really dug in there.
Yeah, I did.
Mhm.
But back to Forest Gump, because that has absolutely
right,
nothing
that's
to do
right.
with that time frame because it's so far apart. Where do you guys think, and I don't know the answer to this, and I'm curious what you guys think, where do you think the Vietnam stuff was shot?
Huh.
Yeah, I was watching, I was like, those are like
There was
palm trees.
definitely a part that was shot in front of a green screen. There was this one scene where it was really zoomed out, and I think it was when they were mucking through some water and there was like smoke from a fire up, but you could tell the smoke wasn't moving. It was just a
Okay.
still picture. And
Yeah.
I know part of it was filmed in front of a green screen because there was a still image in the background and you could tell. It was like the same quality as what I've got going on right now.
Same thing.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good question as to where like Vietnam was filmed. 'Cause a lot of the foliage did look fake, like it looked plastic.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
So they probably didn't go anywhere too exotic. If I
Right.
had to guess.
My guess would have been like Florida,
Yeah.
somewhere down
Just
there.
find a humid state.
Yeah, exactly. But
Louisiana.
in one of those scenes that they were there when he was running from the airstrike, with Bub on his back. Why did the
fakest
first
shit
couple
I've ever
missiles,
seen.
like, why were they fireworks?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It wasn't even like consistently fireworks. It
Yeah.
was like firework, except a little CGI flame, and then just like
Bomb,
big
right.
CGI flame.
Well, and then
Like-
the last bomb was this the explosion. Let me see. How can I?
Oh,
do
it was
this?
right there.
Was like this
Yeah.
close to
Oh,
his
yeah.
foot, and you're like, okay, yeah, he's just running along. Like
He runs
nothing's happening.
fast.
Yeah, he
We've
does.
established this.
He
Yes.
can outrun a car. Kids on bikes,
Yep.
missiles.
Every single person on a football team,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
multiple
yeah.
times.
And like, I like the addition of because that's what you needed to progress the storyline for us. Because realistically, if you don't have the football and him getting a college education, none of the rest of the movie is going to happen. He's just going to die in that town.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
He's going to live with his mom. That's going to be that. Nothing
You
else
could end up in
happens.
the military without the college education.
That's actually not a bad point, especially during those times.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he would have.
All right.
He or his mother probably would have had to seek out military enrollment though, because
Unless you were drafted.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Actually, that's true because Bubba was drafted.
Yep.
And Forrest was not. He just enlisted. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of.
Although I wonder if they used IQ for drafting back then, because they may have just been like, I don't know.
I don't have a good answer for that.
Yeah,
I honestly
just
don't.
food for
Don't
thought.
know the inner workings of our government.
I actually thought it was really funny, the addition that they had where the drill sergeant is like, you must be a goddamn genius. That's the best answer I've ever heard. Like, because it just showed how an absolute blank slate yes man is perfect for the military.
That's
Like,
the whole movie.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
movie. This is we're going back to my boomer shit.
Yeah.
The whole
Yep.
movie is just honing in the fact that as long as you do what you're told, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Do what you're
Yep.
told through the whole movie. Run, Forrest, run. Do this, do that,
Yeah. Well, I just did what
and
you told
in
me
the
to
end,
do.
you're a multimillionaire
Yep.
living on a good piece of land in Alabama.
Have you guys seen Yes Man with Jim
Yeah.
Carrey?
Probably not.
That's the exact answer I expected.
Yeah.
That is par for the course.
Yeah.
It's him and Zoe Deschanel, and he literally just says no to everything. Then one day someone tells him say yes to everything. He says yes to everything, and I guess shit happens.
His life just
that's the whole
improves.
movie.
Yeah.
Improved isn't the word I'd use.
All
Expands, gets bigger,
his life
opens up opportunities.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
So yes, kids, say yes to everything, and nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
What was the other Jim
Especially to
Carrey movie
drugs.
that wasn't far off from that? Was it Liar Liar?
Liar, Liar is a great movie. The pen that I hold in my hand is royal blue. That's so good.
Haven't seen that one either.
I figured.
Real shocker there. I bet.
Yeah, it's all about spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen a movie that came out in the early 90s.
I haven't.
I guess that's Forest Gump too. It's a guy who kid wishes that he can't lie, and then he can't lie. That's the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yep. Very good movie. Hilarious movie.
Yeah,
Funnier
that
than
sounds like
Forrest
a
Gump.
really good premise, actually.
Especially with
Jim. Yeah, yep.
And it's Jim Carrey in his prime too.
Yeah.
It's like, I believe that was coming right out of Ace Ventura, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken, I think it was right out of in those movies. Yeah. We'll have a Jim Carrey nostalgia podcast.
We could fill an hour with that.
Yeah.
We could fill an hour easy with all that without even like blinking. We could do it with one. I could watch When Nature Calls any day of the week. Like, that movie has so many little quips in it that are just absolutely hilarious.
So I have watched, I think, a couple of the Ace Ventura movies.
There's only
Shocker. Two. Okay. All right. I've seen both
there might
of
be
them
more now that are like knockoffs, actually.
but it's been a very long time. It's just like all the other movies that I've watched, basically. I would have to rewatch them, but I'd be game.
So now that we've gotten, Nick's scenes that he remembers as a kid, I know you probably didn't watch it much as a kid, if at all. But Becky, do you have any scenes that you marked as interesting?
Yeah. So I did not watch it when I was a kid, but I watched it when I was like I was probably teens, like early teens-ish, maybe like 15 or 16 or something like that. I don't really remember, because I much like Napoleon Dynamite, I only watched it once. I watched it because somebody said I needed to watch it, and it was a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
You know how I am with movies, so that's basically that's how it goes. But one thing that I found that I thought was like really funny and very indicative of the time that they were like trying to convey in the movie was that in the opening scene, and this is my first note, basically the opening scene where Kid Forrest is getting his leg braces on, the doctor is smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Like, that's just hilarious to me. Yeah, that's just like, very indicative of the time where doctors are just smoking cigarettes in the office while seeing patients. No big deal. Everybody's smoking. And
this was good for you.
Yeah. There used to be a time where doctors endorsed cigarettes. Like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But like, I thought that was kind of funny because within my lifetime, indoor smoking in my city was banned. So like there was a time where I was younger where people just smoked indoors like no fucking problem. Right now, it's completely a thing of the past because it's literally been outlawed, or there's designated smoking sections. And honestly, it's kind of funny because like back then I was like, who cares about that? Because I mean, I was a kid and my mom smoked occasionally. And you don't really know the health implications of things like that. But now I'm like, thank fuck that is a law, because like I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I swear to God, if I brought her in somewhere and somebody lit up a cigarette next to them, I don't know what would happen.
It's just like a haze when you walk into a diner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, that's a good law to have. But yeah, I thought that scene was kind of funny, like right out of the gate. But also right out of the gate, I thought it was funny how the first person on the bench that he's talking to, like starting the story off, is this black woman, and like one of the first things he tells her is where his name came from, and that it was a Civil War icon who started the KKK.
Oh yeah.
Well, he didn't know what the KKK was.
Yeah, he was
You
like, oh,
can't
I guess
fault
they
him,
just,
but-
yeah, it was just kind of funny that's kind of how, they obviously they planned it, right? Because it's a movie, but it was funny to
Yes.
me. Yeah.
She would have, otherwise, she
A
would
lot of
really
planning.
have needed to take that bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but if someone walked up next to me, sat down, for one, offered me chocolate,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
and then started rambling about their life, I would get up,
Yeah.
and I'd walk to the next bus station.
Yeah. Without even saying a
Like-
word, like, alrighty.
It's not happening. She looked like she was at the end of like a double shift. She's like ready to leave for the day.
She's
and
trying to read her
sitting down.
book. Yeah.
They don't like. All I'm picturing is she's sitting there like, boy, I wish it was 10 years later and I could have like AirPods in.
Yeah.
And just not listen to this shit whatsoever and just leave. But he
Man.
like good for her for just leaving though, instead of like, no, continue telling me about your incredible life.
Yeah. Well, there was that one older lady that was like riveted by
Oh,
the
yeah.
story.
Well, she was riveted because she thought it was a story. She's like, I
That's
love
true.
the way you told it. It was a wonderful story.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you want to see?
Yeah.
And he like shows
Oh,
a
you
little
want to see
picture
what
of,
Lieutenant Dan looks like?
Lieutenant Dan, yeah.
Yeah.
Then she just like,
Mhm.
Oh.
yeah. I mean,
And that one guy just left because he was like, "Oh, haha, we've been sitting next to a multi-millionaire. Good one." He's
he
like,
just says millionaire. Doesn't say
he
multi.
doesn't-
I'm pretty sure he said he was a gajillionaire.
Well,
I think he
yeah.
said millionaire.
Forrest
because
Gump
I
said
actually wrote it.
gajillionaire.
Yeah.
He did.
He said gajillionaire, but
Right.
the guy walking away said millionaire specifically.
Oh,
I wrote that
I
down
thought he
because,
said multi-millionaire.
um,
Okay.
because it reminded me of Dr. Evil from Austin
Okay.
Powers.
Yeah.
Oh,
$1 million. Sir, that's not a lot of money anymore. That's a little crazy to think about, but now
Yeah.
we have people with $100 billion.
Yeah.
Ode how the world has changed.
oh,
Yeah.
how it
Eat
has
the
changed,
rich.
Indeed.
Yes.
But yeah, so like I thought that the opening scenes were really good in what they just right out of the gate. You just start like they hit the ground running, no pun intended, with those themes. And then I think I mentioned the Elvis dance earlier. How like
Mhm.
that young man with the guitar who was just strolling through was Elvis, and he taught him
about
his
what's-
dance.
What his
Yeah.
mom says when he starts doing that, and she goes, "That's not for children's eyes,"
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
that's like what they said at the time. because
Yeah.
Elvis was
They said
like
his like hip
this, like, sex
gyrations.
icon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
boy. And now you look back, it's like I couldn't even see his knees.
Yeah. He's not showing enough ankle for my taste. Yeah.
So one of the scenes that stood out to me was when Jenny and Forrest were on the bridge. The first time she like gets up on the edge and she comes back down and tells Forrest not to follow her. And she literally freaking goes up to a random car, says, "Hey, can you take me somewhere?" And he goes, "Where?" And she says, "Doesn't matter." He says, "Yup." And she gets in the car with him.
Yeah.
That's not something that would happen today.
Or if it does happen, you no more Jenny. Bye bye, Jenny.
Yeah, bye-bye, Jenny.
Yeah.
And Jenny was never seen again.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like,
Yeah, she wouldn't have passed
People are-
away of AIDS if it was in
Yeah.
2023 and that happened.
she I was like, she wouldn't even do like people are hesitant about Ubers lately
Yeah.
because people can like mark themselves as an Uber and then they pull up and just say yes to whoever the name is coming in. And like, yeah, the world's a horrible place.
Yeah.
It still is. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, but I don't think that would have happened. Do you think that would have happened back then?
What? People just
She would just literally get in a car with
Hitchhiking
somebody
and
like
stuff?
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, hitchhiking was popular.
Well, I mean,
And
if
I
you
know
know
it
when
was
bad
a set-
things happened, they were less communicated because you didn't have the internet where people were
That's true.
Must have been
blasting
really
out everything
easy
that's happening everywhere.
to get away with like crimes and stuff.
It must have been easy. Is it, John?
Yeah.
You've got this look in your eyes, like John's like,
Shoot.
and he's like, man,
They're finally going to figure out I committed a
wish.
crime in 1970.
No, you had this look in your eyes, like, man, I wish I lived back then when you could get away with these crimes.
Yeah. Well, now you have cameras. You got so many people. You got the internet. You got just so much stuff out there. Back then, it was like
you got GPS tracking. Like you
I
couldn't even
saw Ridley steal my dog last night.
you couldn't even walk past the Capitol on January 6th that one year. Otherwise, you're getting like
just marked,
interrogated. Like,
man, that was well, definitely a different time. Different time.
Oh yeah, but if you notice, she actually hitchhiked kind of a lot, and like maybe not a lot, I guess, but like, you know, it showed her hitchhiking multiple times with groups of people or by herself, and then like the literal caravan that she got into, you know, like the old VW van.
Frankfurt to Berkeley?
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah, just like a caravan of like these people that are, you know, classified as, like they're protesting, and they're just going from place to place and loading up in these VW vans. I love those vans.
Peace now. I do too, actually. They're cool. Wrote a note about it, about being like, I wish. They're so expensive now. It's kind of crazy how much they are. They actually just came out with a new one, actually. They're
doing an EV one, aren't they?
One. Yeah. I think they just came out with it. Like, I think it's out now.
Oh, is it out? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's out, but it's like ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, probably. That checks out.
Nick, who out of all the characters in Forest Gump, who's your favorite? Difficult question.
Man.
I know.
That's a tough question. You're springing it too. We didn't even have a curriculum for this or anything.
If I was smart, I would have written these questions down, like the main questions, to see like what you guys think about it, that kind of stuff. But you know what? Now you get the real answers.
Favorite character? I really liked Lieutenant Dan. I like that character.
He was surprisingly relatable because you could understand what he was going through. Like
he had a really good turnaround too.
Yeah. They show so much of his struggles that he had in the film. More than like anybody else. Jenny was basically no-show the whole movie.
Yeah.
We get clips of her trauma.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's gone again. Yep, back to Forest. But Lieutenant Dan, man, we saw a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just him shirtless.
Not just him shirtless.
What about you,
shirtless,
Becky?
legless.
Yep. You know, honestly, I think that my favorite character in the movie has to be Forrest's mom, because of like just how good she was at like raising Forrest, and like he said in the narrations, she always had a way of explaining things so that he could understand it, and like she was so good at nurturing him and doing what she needed to do to make sure that he had what he needed to succeed, and did the absolute best that she could. And like I really think she's like the MVP, I think, of that movie, because like she did a real good job, honestly. Because I mean, it can't be easy to raise a kid with like a legitimate mental disability. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be real tough. But you know, she's got to be up there for me.
Solid choice, and she went above and beyond to get him into school.
She did. Yes, above and beyond.
Do we think that's where she drew the line, or do you think this has been happening for a while? Like, sorry, I can't let your kid into Little League Baseball unless...
I'd love to get the extended cut.
Extended edition.
Yeah.
I think Sally there killed it. I think she did a fantastic job. And so you think about it, there's only a handful of characters in this stupid movie. You got Forrest Gump, who's definitely not going to be... He was just saying yes the whole time and didn't really do anything. I guess he was good at table tennis, ping pong. That's the word. I like how table tennis came first. That's fine. There's Lieutenant Dan, who I think was great. He was a fantastic character in the movie. You have Jenny, who's like notably the villain in the whole movie, quote unquote the villain. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I would say she's the antagonist against it, right?
I can see that. I don't know. I feel like they built in this whole the guy gets the girl because he says he wants the girl. There were multiple times throughout the movie where she's like, yeah, this isn't going to work. And he just keeps going hard.
No pun intended. There's a whole nother scene. I didn't remember that whole scene with her and him after like it was raining outside.
Oh my God, where he like starts punching the dude.
I felt like that roommate watching it.
Yeah.
Like she's the one I relate to the most.
Yep. Yeah, she's like, just like, yeah.
What am I watching?
Well, because that's the thing, because it's like, you can't really blame Jenny for like saying that it's not going to work and like, turning away his advances, because she might feel like she's taking advantage of somebody. You know what I mean? Right. Like, sure, and so it's probably really weird for her too. But then, her roommate's face was just like priceless. That was a good scene. Yeah, I forgot about that scene, and I just watched the movie like 4 hours ago, maybe, until you just brought it up. That actress literally just had to, in one scene, lay in a bed and, put a face on.
But it was so well done.
It was.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a masterclass.
I had a bullet that just said the roommate.
Yeah.
Then after that, I've got the red phone in the president's bathroom.
Oh,
I didn't see the red phone in the president's bathroom.
That. Yes, funny. Right next to the toilet.
Nice. Yeah.
The red phone.
That's funny. That's how he calls Captain Underpants.
Yes, obviously.
But other than the roommate that I probably drive with the most in this stupid movie, the mom, I think, it was Sally Fields, right? That was who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just, barring a couple choice decisions that she had early on, like everything leading up to the end, her saying like her destiny was to take care of her or take care of Forest, and that's what she did, and she tried every way she possibly could. I was like, all right, that she's like, her whole being was to be a parent, and she did that, and I think that was really cool. I didn't like that she tried to sell her son for $25,000.
Yeah,
no, yeah. That's how he got into the shrimping business, though, because he was going to give it all back, and she said maybe you should hold on to it and tell one white lie.
Yeah.
And that's what brought him his success in shrimping, and then the investment in Apple.
I don't even think it's a white lie. They just wanted him to use that paddle.
They wanted, he said that he won his games using that paddle.
Gotcha. So it was a little, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
and I mean, like it's fair to say, like, she kind of made him do that, but she didn't even take the money. She let him keep every cent of it,
right?
Too.
Yeah, she was doing what was best for him.
Yeah, she's like, listen, I know that you love ping pong and stuff, but if you just do this one little thing, then this will be good for you.
Yeah. I think
Mother knows best.
Listen to your mumsy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm surprised that you've seen. Oh, you have a daughter. I guess.
I do have a daughter, yeah.
Did you guys watch it with her?
What did you?
Oh my God! Something? Are you not quoting a movie?
No, I'm not.
It's
what movie do you think I'm quoting?
Tangled, the Disney movie.
Oh, I have seen Tangled, though. I have, yes.
There's literally a whole freaking song called "Mother Knows Best."
I don't remember that song.
Jeez, I'm like thinking you're funny because you're like quoting Tangled, and you're over here just
like, no, Mother Knows Best, man.
God.
That's okay. I have watched that movie though. I have seen Tangled, believe it or not. Yes.
So how do you not remember the song? Maybe that's you're like subconsciously remembering the song.
Maybe that's
I doubt it. You don't remember music.
I don't.
Are you musical? I don't think you are.
I don't think
so.
No, I played drums, so absolutely not. So I'm not musical at all.
It's the classic thing when you call someone who hangs out with a bunch of musicians
a drummer. You could also say a vocalist, though.
True. But
there was one callback to another movie that stood out with Lieutenant Dan when they were in New York City going across the street. The cab that almost hit him and him yelling, "Hey, I'm walking here."
I'm walking here.
From that was Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy. I don't think I've ever seen that.
1969, Dustin Hoffman.
So I didn't know that was
Really?
actually a reference.
famous scene
because
from there.
I also knew, like, obviously they say it in Rick and Morty because it's like that one episode where everybody's an alien, and it's like, what is it, like Cousin Steve or some crap, or Uncle Steve or something, and he's
It
just
wasn't
like this.
everyone an alien. Everyone was. Oh yeah, no, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they kept like implanting themselves into your memories and stuff.
Yep.
I can't think of the
Yeah,
actual name of the.
I don't
stupid
remember
thing,
what
but
the
yeah.
name of it is, but he's like, I am walking here, and I knew that was a reference to something, but I didn't know. And then I heard it in Forrest Gump, and I was like, I wonder if that's a reference or if that's where they got it from. But
Yeah.
no, they probably got it from.
I don't think Forrest Gump got it from Rick and Morty.
Oh no, I meant like if
Maybe we
I didn't
hold
know
on,
if
we don't know that.
yeah, they may have. Hey, you
Guys,
don't know,
Rick
all
has
right?
a time machine.
He does, yeah.
Just saying.
He just went to a different universe where they were before Forrest Gump or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Do you guys know the director of this movie?
why would I know that?
Was
Well, he
Zemeckis,
did.
right?
It was Zemeckis. He did one other
M. Night
franchise.
Shyamalan.
It was not M. Night Shyamalan. He did one other franchise that was the Back to the Future movies.
Oh yeah.
He had a couple others in there, like I think he did Beowulf, the like weird one that came out. But yeah, Back to the Future was his big ones, and I saw no resemblance in these two movies. Usually, you can tell a director by their like I don't know style. Like you look at like Edgar Wright stuff, and they're all like, Edgar Wright's films. That's just how it goes. This was like kind of on its own, but I definitely think this was a pandering movie to like the what do you call it? The award shows. I forget which ones for movies because I'm
The
just
Oscars?
Is it the Oscars? My mind
Yeah,
kept going to
Grammys
the
is
Tonys.
music, right? Grammys is music, Oscars is movies. Or
And then
film.
Tonys is the Broadway stuff for musicals and shit. I think I could be wrong. I don't know. Don't listen to me.
Zemeckis he's got quite a few director credits. We got Forrest Gump, Back to the Future, Castaway.
Oh, did he do
Polar
Castaway?
Express? Yeah, he
I
worked
didn't do
with
Polar Express.
So he worked with Tom Hanks in a few movies. Contact.
Yep, figures.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he did Flight too. That's right.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
What he? Interesting. Yeah, none of his movies seem like they coincide with.
Yeah, definitely did not make the same movie twice.
No,
unless
that's
it was
for
a
sure.
franchise.
Well, obviously, yeah. Like Back
I
to
don't
the
know.
Future.
Back to the Future 2 is too much like Back to the Future 1. I don't like it.
Back to the Future 3 just sucks.
I-
I liked 1 and 2. I thought 2
I think
were,
I
1
didn't
were
mind
fine.
3.
I think I've seen
No.
1.
I'm not. The third one's the one with the train, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Not a huge fan. Not a big fan, but
Is that like the
what's,
fourth Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's just like people don't talk about it?
yeah, the one where Keira Knightley left and no one wanted to watch it anymore. Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe she left in 5. Either way, let's move on to our nice little rating system here, so that we can put this in on So we're looking for between 1 star and 5 star on. Because I don't think this is really nostalgic for any of us, right? Like super
Right.
nostalgic. We watched it younger, but not. It doesn't like trigger like crazy memories like a Disney movie would or something like that. So let's just do 1 out of 5 what we thought about the movie. Let's go, Nick first.
I'd give it a 3.5. Solid film production. Good movie in general. Just again that the story just didn't grab me.
I get it. I mean, I think a 3 is fair for something like that. What about you, Beckles?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm also between the 3 and the 4 mark. I'm inclined to lean a little more towards the 4. I'd like to get more granular than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I can't.
Don't care. That's all you
I know.
get.
So I'll give it a 4. 4 is way too close to perfect, though. I'm gonna lean towards a 3 too.
4 is not that close to perfect.
Perfect is 5.
4's 80%.
Yeah, it's an 80 out of
All right.
100.
Okay. All right, I'll give it a 4 then. Yeah, I'll give it a 4 because I like the story that it told and how it just told like a slice of life story from the perspective of this guy, and like it had some little comedy bits in it, but it was, mostly filled with sadness and things that happen in real life to people that people just have to deal with. Yeah. So I'll go with the 4.
So 4 is not bad.
All right,
I think,
John.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So here's the thing. I feel like I do this each time. Well, I did it last time. As we talk about it, it kind of the score goes up because we start going deeper into it, and I
Different
start thinking about
perspectives.
things a little bit more than just watching it. Because I feel like just watching it, I literally would have given it a 1. Like, I didn't really enjoy the movie watching it.
You're also sick as hell, though. So
I am, but I don't. That doesn't really factor in. I mean, I watched. I watched Baby Driver yesterday, and I still would give that a 5. Oh yeah,
right.
like
well,
great
What a soundtrack.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Not to prolong that, but the soundtrack in this was pretty dope.
It was.
Actually, yeah, that was one of my notes, and I didn't even talk about it. Yeah, the soundtrack, absolute bangers on the soundtrack for this movie.
Little CCR, little
some Skinner. You got some Jimi Hendrix.
There were a lot in here that was like some pretty good
stuff. Yeah, it was good. I really like the soundtrack of this movie. Yeah.
Everything that we talked
solid
about brings it up to a 2 for me. I'm gonna stick with a 2. Yeah, I know it's low, but
all right.
I just don't feel like this is my type of movie, and that is my personal opinion.
Well, yeah.
Other people obviously like it more and like less. But I just feel like if Tom Hanks wasn't in here, it wouldn't have gotten the popularity it did.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. Obviously he's a very good actor, but he did a very good job.
Yes, he is. Yeah. He's a very good actor. So I'm giving it a solid 2. I think that's what it deserves in my book. Other Tom Hanks movies are going to be higher than that because I do like some of his stuff. But in this case, it just, you know what? It didn't do it for me, dog. Wow. Little Randy.
Yeah.
No? Right.
Now with the 2, you might as well go Simon over there.
That was by far the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
That's like if that was more like if Steve Irwin and Gordon Ramsay had a love child. That was what that accent was.
I couldn't think of what accent or like
it is British.
Simon sounded like. I think so, but I went right for Gordon Ramsay. That was 100% what I was doing, so you nailed it.
That's funny.
But yeah, you know what? I think it's a 3 overall for all 3 of us, averaged out.
Averaged out to a 3.
I think that's
pretty
good.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Because I bet if we were born in like the 40s or 50s and could be nostalgic about the time periods that this was actually based in, I think our ratings would be higher. But
if they're born in 45, I think
so the movie would have started around 1950.
Yeah. So I completely agree. I feel like if my grandparents watched this movie, it would strike them in a different way than it does me because they would remember it. Yeah. It's freaking nostalgia, man.
It's freaking nostalgia. Right.
Yeah. Get you every time. But any last thoughts from you two about the Forest of the Gumps?
Let me see if I have any other notes here. I've got hippies in California, invested in Apple, and Sesame Street on the old TV.
Was it Sesame Street on there?
When Forrest Jr. was watching TV, when he first sees him, it was actually Sesame Street. Yeah. Ernie and Bert and Ernie.
I got. It's weird to see Tom Hanks as Forrest after everything else he's done. His mom knows how to get things done. We all know how she really made her money. Dear Lord, that bus driver shouldn't be a bus driver.
The one chewing gum?
The one smoking.
She's smoking in the first when she picks up Forrest Sr. and then chewing gum when she picks up Forrest Jr.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the kid goes like, my name's Forrest Gump. And she goes, my name is blah, blah, because you're not important enough to remember. And he goes, well, we're not strangers anymore. I was like, that kid is going to get picked up and robbed. Like, jeez. But she gets like sarcastic with the kid. Don't you know this is a school bus?
Yeah. You know this is a school bus, right? And he's like, yeah, bitch, I know. And your name is this.
Yeah, those are my notes.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. I had some later on that we already covered. So,
Oh yeah, I've got Jenny Stripper as one of mine as well. She ended
Jenny
up being a stripper.
But here's the thing: she didn't. She was already completely naked with the guitar.
Yeah, well, I think she was wearing some form of bottoms, but they were very sheer.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is
but
the people were
those
getting
could
yelled
have
at.
just been like like skin colored Spanx that they were trying to show that she was naked, but really just production quality in 1994 was not the best. So
Yeah, you know what we didn't do? We didn't go over the other movies that came out in 1994.
Oh man,
Top movies in
we-
1994. Let's see really quickly. That's not it. Little Giants. No. Okay, so the first one's actually Forrest Gump.
the first one to come
all
out in
right, who'da
'94,
thunk
or
it?
just the first on the list?
Nope.
No,
the
like-
first on the list. Oh my god, this year was bonkers. The Shawshank Redemption,
Oh,
Pulp Fiction,
okay.
The Lion King, Clerks, Dumb and Dumber, the original one, Pet Detective, The Mask.
Oh,
Holy cow!
Jim Carrey
Yeah.
going off. Huh?
What a year! Yeah, couple others, nothing crazy. The original Santa Claus came out in 1994. Now,
Santa Claus with
there's a
Tim
classic
Allen?
we could do with Tim Allen.
Wow.
Yep,
Look at me knowing
Wow.
movie stuff. You see that?
I know, right?
You proud of me?
Come on, son. Atta boy.
Thank you.
But yeah, a lot of awesome movies came out that year, but Forrest Gump obviously took number one because of how pandering it was.
Do we
Which
do
makes it a little
just a quick refresher since it's just the second monthly movie night? Do we pick that guess that sound on monthly movie nights or no?
No guess the sound. We go
Nope.
right into the stuff. We
Right
probably
into the
could,
content.
but I feel like doing guess that sound would have to be about the movie, and if we did it about the movie,
It'd be too fresh in our heads. I think we'd know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Which character is this? And you play a part. That doesn't seem.
Yeah.
I think we're going to skip it for these.
Yeah,
That makes
monthly
sense.
movie nights are special. Yeah, they got their own
Exactly.
format.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be way better when we have them in person.
Yeah.
I agree.
Being able to just chillax and talk about a movie is going to be a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. Everyone who got this far, congratulations. Woo! You won the prize of being able to comment in our YouTube channel. So
That's right.
yeah, if you're
You
listening,
made it.
on
You made it an hour and a few minutes with us. If you watch Forrest Gump, you're in for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
That's
so
true.
We're budget Forrest Gump.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like it. Make sure if you're watching or listening on any other app that's not YouTube, you head over to our YouTube and hit that subscribe button and the like button on the videos and notifications because we put them all out there. And they all have our beautiful faces. So you get to see what we actually look like instead of just hearing our lovely voices.
Yeah.
That was my best
Unfortunately
Nick
for you guys.
impression. I know.
Yeah,
I think it
that
close.
would sound like in a world.
In a world. Yeah,
Two
so make sure
brothers.
you head over there. Nothing about Forrest Gump has brothers.
No, that was just more Rick and Morty. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Make sure you head over there, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss anything. And leave us a comment because we are always curious what you guys think and what you want us to go over, or if any of this made you nostalgic at all. So head over there, write comments, subscribe, everything that I've said already. You guys have a great rest of your night. Talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.